Welcome to RoxTalks. My name is Roxanne Wilson, and today's episode I think you're really going to enjoy. We're going to meet with Misty Dorman. Now, the chat with Misty Dorman is fantastic. She is, let me just tell you who she is. Who is Misty? She is a home business system strategies and tools expert, and she's a guru when it comes to Pinterest. What you'll love about her is that she's a stay-at-home mompreneur who spent over a decade trying to figure out how to create a home biz that worked. So she discovered simple attraction marketing strategies and tools that helped her grow her own network marketing downline, get a load to this, to around 20 people in just 4 months. In addition to that, she then started using Pinterest. And as she was using Pinterest, she was able to grow her list. Remember, we needed an email list. Remember, we talked about that, from the hundreds to the 1,800, close to 2,000 over the course of like 6 or 7 months by using some simple tips on Pinterest. And I'm so excited we're going to talk to her today because I feel like when it comes to network marketing, Pinterest kind of gets forgotten. Listen, I teach Instagram. Obviously, that's my place, like if I have to pick one. But I also do love to highlight other network marketing, other social media tips that are going to help your network marketing. And I believe that this is one of them. And so I wanted to invite Misty here so we could have a real talk that I think is really going to help you. So let's take a listen. Oh, and I should say, before you take a listen to this, I want you to know as well, too, we do talk a little bit, we talk about Pinterest, of course, but we talk about some things that I think are really going to help you in your strategy and the way you go about recruiting. And if you're someone who has that love-hate relationship with network marketing because you're tired of the going to your list constantly, you want to find a better way, we do have a great conversation in the midst of this about a better way in the new century. And so I want you to be ready to listen to that and kind of keep your minds open to how that can help you as well too. All right, so that's enough about that. Let's dive in. One more thing before we dive in, there's a big announcement at the end of our conversation that you're going to really want to be a part of, and so stick around for that. It's all about a special thing just for you network marketers coming up this month. So take a listen to that too. Okay, now we'll really listen. Misty Dorman, thank you so much for being here with me today. I feel like this is long overdue, and I'm so glad to have you on my podcast. So thank you.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
Well, you are, listen, you're light, you're exciting, you're a mover and a shaker, and you're a mompreneur on, like, it's so funny because saying that word is so hard. Reading it is so easy, but saying mompreneur, mompreneur, it sounds like, try and say that 5 times fast. I bet.
Right.
For everyone who's listening. But no, listen, I love what you're doing because you're not only a network marketer, but you are showing network marketers and entrepreneurs how to really effectively grow their business, which I think is fantastic. But we're going to talk specifically about Pinterest today, because Pinterest is something, admittedly, I'm the Instagram girl, but I also love all social media. And I love seeing people who are doing it well on other platforms. And rather than me saying I know how to do everything, because I don't, I love talking to people like you who do know. So tell us, Pinterest, why the heck did you decide? Listen, I was a wedding planner. Pinterest is great for people who want to get married, people who want to lose weight. You don't do either of those things on Pinterest. So what the heck is going on?
Well, my focus primarily is teaching network marketers, but I do sometimes throw some of my network marketing things in there as well, products and that kind of thing. But yeah, Pinterest is a visual search engine, and people are out there trying to find something. And I figured if I'm not out there, they're going to go get it from somebody else. And, why not be there? Right. And
Yes.
For me, I'm such an automation junkie. Like, I don't really want to be doing that work every day. Like, I'm trying to create a freedom lifestyle. Right. And so for me, I really started getting results in network marketing when I was doing a lot of networking. That's what it's about, right? Mm-hmm. And I found that to be, after a while, very time consuming. So although I started getting the results that I wanted when I learned attraction marketing and going out and finding more and more people to talk to and just create relationships with, it is very time consuming to talk to all those people. And I wanted
Wait,
to,
I'm gonna pause you. I mean, you got 20 people on your downline in 4 months. 20, that's average of 5 every month. Most people's
yeah, I
goals are
mean,
just 2 a month. That's amazing.
for me, that was ridiculous because I really never had anybody join any company I was in. And I was in a lot of companies before I found the one I finally landed on. But I didn't have anybody joining except for maybe one or two customers for the discount. Right. And
Mhm, mhm.
so I had never built a team before. And to finally get in and start doing some income producing activities that were strategic, and I started following specific mentors, learning to do what they do and all of that stuff. Um, but then I started to see, that a lot of them were doing these other things to sort of automate that manual prospecting piece and get people coming into them. And I
Mhm.
started to think like, well, how did I get into my current company? What did I do? Why did I change into this company? And part of it was because I started following specific mentors. I kind of found out that they were in the same company. I wanted to see what they were doing, and I realized like I was the easiest recruit ever this time around. I literally just messaged the top person in the company pretty much and said, "Hey, can I join your team?" And I'm like, I want that to happen to me. I don't want to
Yeah.
have to work so hard. Like
I mean,
if
that
I can
happens
get
to
some
everybody.
valuable, yeah, if I can get some valuable content out there and just draw people into me, like that's so much easier. And I want to teach other people how to do that as well because that's so duplicatable, right? So
Absolutely.
for me, Pinterest was a part of all that.
Can
Yeah,
I
that
pause
manual
you for a second?
prospecting.
Do you mind?
Yeah,
Because
sure.
you said something at the top that I think is important, and I think people need to hear. You said that had done other network marketing companies prior.
Hmm.
So, what was it about network marketing initially that drew you in, and what was it that told you, "Hey, maybe this one's not for me," but that doesn't mean network marketing's not for me?
Yeah, I think part of that is that I'm stubborn. And, after I'll call it failing, but I was learning throughout. Um After failing for so many years and having my husband be the one that he's kind of a little bit more of a negative Nelly, right? And he's like, "Well, maybe this just
We
doesn't
usually are.
work," you know? And I'm
Mhm.
like, "No, it does work. It's working for people, but like I'm just not doing it right, right?" And I was doing some of the things I was being told to do, but I just some of those like spammy methods out there right now just weren't
Yeah,
resonating with me.
yeah.
Or in the early stages, I really wasn't ready to work it like a business. It was more like a part-time hobby type of thing
Mhm,
because I was
mhm.
working full time and I wasn't, I was thinking, oh, I could maybe do something with this, but I wasn't really like gung ho, like going after it, right? Um, but for me, what really was the catalyst was when I was on maternity leave with our first child and I didn't want to go back to work. So we actually ended up moving across the country when my daughter was 5 weeks old. So my husband could work his new job. And I just never went back to work after that. And I was kind of like, I need something to do. Like I was so used to going to work every day. And I mean, yeah, I was taking care of a baby at home, but I still had this kind of itch to be doing something.
Mhm.
And so I kind of after some time reignited my network marketing desires, thinking like I could get back into this, right, with the right company, the right system, the right all of that
The
stuff.
right all of that, and you go in
Yeah,
with a better understanding of it.
I did, and I got more strategic about it. I really just went and started finding what are people doing that's working in today's world, and how can I replicate that and just do whatever they tell me to
Yeah.
do, right?
But in modern day, not I mean, let's be honest, sometimes you're told what to do by an upline and it's like so archaic that you're like, "Oh my gosh," I mean, or even dinosaurs don't do that. I mean,
Right. And
right?
I still fumbled and I still, all of that. And I still had the company I was in before the one I'm in now. It was telling me like you have to do online parties and you have to do this and that. And I'm like, I just don't want to do that anymore. Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
like I want to make the internet work for me.
Yeah.
Not that I want to be lazy about it. I still have to be the CEO of my business, but I want to like not be so in the grind all the time, right? And just be able to relax and enjoy my business more. So
So
that
we
just what resonated with me.
Would you say that most of your downline, once you got to the company you're with now, is most of your downline, are they mostly people you know, or are those people that you didn't know that you brought in through attraction marketing, or just knew like transentially, but not like intimately?
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. It was a little bit of me contacting a few key people and saying like, "Are you still wanting to make money from home? Because I found this really awesome thing, and I know you're gonna be mad at me if I don't tell you about it. So
Mhm.
if you want the info, cool. If you don't, fine. We're still friends." Like, and they did, right? Because because I was like, I'm gonna go run with it whether you're with me or not, but I just don't want you to be mad.
Yeah.
um, so I did a little bit of that. I did, some daily activities that had me going out and finding new friends on Facebook, and drawing them in by the content I was creating, and creating all this curiosity and getting them to message me for more info and that type of thing. And like I said, it really was working for me, but it was a little time consuming. And then another key piece, which I think people don't really talk about, is my mentors, my upline in my company were seeing like, oh, this girl's serious, she's working, like, okay, how can we help her out, right? And in my company, we have the ability to move our new recruits under someone else that's underneath us if we feel like that's a better placement for them. And
Mhm.
so I did have a couple of people placed under me because my upline saw I was working, right? It was like, oh, she's not just doing this hobby thing right now. Like,
Mhm. It makes
she's
a
going
difference.
out and doing the work, and she's a valuable contributor now who I feel I can trust with my teammates, right?
Which
So
is a huge
um
statement.
yeah, and so really like just that mindset shift of becoming the CEO of my business really kind of created this, like, I don't know, whirlwind effect or ripple effect that just helps my team start to grow.
That's phenomenal. But then through that, you realized you wanted something that was really a grander scale. You wanted to make this Pinterest thing. How did you even decide Pinterest of all of the social media platforms? You're like, I'm going to do this on Pinterest. Where did
You
that come from?
know, I created a freebie that was my daily activities I was doing and what I had learned from my the biggest upline leaders that I had.
Mhm. Mhm.
What were the daily activities they were telling us to do? Because it was completely different on this team that I was on than any other team I had been on before. And it was all about attraction marketing, and it was working for me. And I thought, okay, I finally found something that works. Now I'm going to shift gears. And for me, um, that meant like sharing this with other people who maybe weren't on my team so they could have access to this awesome information, right?
Mhm.
So I created a freebie that was all those income producing activities that someone could just take and like just start doing it and replicate, right? And I needed a way to get that out there. My email list wasn't growing very quickly with what I was doing. And I wasn't ready to invest in a lot of Facebook ads because I've done that before and I got burned a little bit. I think I was kind of like, oh, if I'm not ready to really do it right, I know I'm just going to waste my money.
Sure.
And Pinterest is such a great platform for organic traffic, just free traffic. And I knew that. So, I started taking courses and more courses. And I've probably taken a dozen courses on Pinterest now at this point, and just learning everything that I could about how to go and market on Pinterest, and just implemented. That's the big key piece, right? Like once you learn what you learn, you need to go do it.
Gotta do it. Yeah, it's not
Which
gonna go.
is what I wasn't really doing before when my business was kind of a hobby, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I went and I was like, let me just go hop out here and see if I can go and do these specific like activities on Pinterest, get it going as a business account, and start doing some consistent activities with Pinterest. Let's just see what happens. Can I grow my email list? And I mean, it worked.
Wow. And it worked a lot because, as I mentioned earlier in the intro, you literally went from 118 to like 1,800, 2,000, probably by the time this is going to be playing, people on your list just from Pinterest, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I have created a few other opt-ins since that first one, but that first one has been really the one that I've promoted the most and has caught fire. So most of that is just from one freebie opt-in that people were interested in, and um, it's turned into some interest of people joining my team, but I don't really use it that way, unless I've attracted someone in who's just unhappy with what they're doing, right? But what I am using it for is now I'm creating my own products where I'm teaching what I've been learning, right? And
Mhm.
paid products, so it's drawing money in on autopilot, right? Because they go in from that freebie and then they want to get more from me, and then they'll opt into an ebook I've created or a course I've created or something like that, so they can get that next step or
We're in the similar space, but different areas. And I think that's so important. I
Mhm.
think you and I probably both realized that most network marketing companies aren't teaching people these skills that will really help them to be successful. So they're not, so they stay with the company they're with, or they at least have like, I've learned these great business skills that I can use. And so I love that you're like, you know what, let me pay this forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, because they're not teaching it at a lot of companies, and I think a lot of companies are kind of afraid of some of the stuff that we do, like us learning how to brand ourselves,
Yeah.
rather than just constantly, hey, buy my shake or buy my oils or buy, and because that's what they want us to be doing. But
Right.
really, in today's world, when we're all bombarded with all this all over the place, it doesn't really work that well anymore to do
Preach. No,
that.
it doesn't. It doesn't. And honestly, I think more and more people, network marketers, as they're seeing what's they're on social media, they're seeing the ability and the power of saying buy my shake in an organic way. They're like, you know what, but I don't want to just talk about the shake. I would like to talk about other things as well too, and maybe promote those as maybe not as a network marketer, but an affiliate for those things. And so
Mhm.
I do think you're right. I think it's scary, but I think maybe also for some network marketing companies, not all of them, but social media has been growing so quickly that they are behind the eight ball on how to market effectively and how to make the most of it. So I think it's good that people like you and me
Yeah,
are out there saying, hey, this is how you can do it.
absolutely. And I love that you mentioned affiliate marketing because I largely think of network marketing as affiliate marketing when I'm thinking like what can I do and how can I market myself, right? Like I have tons of affiliate offers that I promote
Mhm.
through my blog or my email or in my Facebook group, whatever tools I think that somebody could use, right? I probably have an affiliate link for
Yeah,
it.
and there's nothing wrong with that.
And it's okay. Like I don't have to just promote my network marketing company. Like you are not your network marketing company. You're your own person, and people are going to be drawn to you because they relate to you. They
Yes.
can buy a shake from anybody, right?
Yes.
So
Preach.
you definitely need to brand you, and don't be afraid to do that. And obviously if you want to promote your network marketing company, stay within their rules because they probably do have some kind of terms and conditions and whatnot. Like I was in one before where we couldn't promote their stuff and somebody else's stuff in the same space, right? So I couldn't maybe like go to a vendor show and promote two things, or I couldn't have a
Mhm.
Facebook group where I was promoting both products or something like that. I could still stay well within those rules if I was with that company with what I'm doing now,
Yeah.
because I'm not just like promoting their products in my group.
Mhm. Okay, you spoke my clients and people listen to the podcast now. I'm always like, you are not your company. You are distinctly unique
Yes.
you. And so when you said that, I was like, hands up. If you're watching, I had to put my hands up. I'm like, preach. Like Misty's taking us to church, but it's so important. And I agree with you. Check your policies and procedures, and then if there's something you love, and guess what, you can benefit from promoting it. If the company's like, hey, thanks for promoting my Uggs. I wish Uggs would have an affiliate program. I keep talking about it like it should happen. Then hey, there's no reason you shouldn't make something from using your space, your actual, I mean, it's your space, right? Your social media is your platform. If you want to talk about something and someone wants to give you a heads up or a hey, atta girl, or here's some money, I think there's nothing wrong with
Yes, and I think network marketers don't look at it like that because it's been ingrained in us so long, right?
that.
But if you look at what bloggers are doing and how they promote their affiliate offers, that is closer to what we should be doing,
Yeah.
right? They're really providing value. Maybe they create a really nice long form blog post that provides all this value, tips, whatever, teaches somebody something, and then they'll say something like, if here's a link to my favorite xyz or whatever. That's exactly what we should be doing. We shouldn't be just like blasting it out like our wall is a billboard for our stuff, right?
Yes.
And we're talking more like other social media, not Pinterest right now.
I know, but we
um
we had to go down
but
the
yeah,
path.
it's totally fine. um So yeah, that's how, like, start, you're the CEO of your business, like, go and sort of decipher what bloggers are doing, because that's going to give you some really neat insights into how you can work your business and make some money with your network marketing company that
Mhm.
you're now thinking of as like an affiliate program, almost, where
Mhm.
you also get to have a team that you can benefit from, who underneath with the
And
comp
you know
plan and
what?
whatnot.
And the thing about that is it's and I'm laughing because this is not what we planned to talk about, but I told you I'm
Yeah,
a just what I'm like, you call me blue, I just go
yeah.
off the cuff. So like I'm like,
Mm.
okay.
You're a blue
But
personality.
I'm
You're
a
not
blue
sad.
person. Oh yeah, I'm not, yes, yes,
You're a
correct.
blue personality. Yeah.
I'm blue. No. But so the thing about it is that this feels a lot cleaner to those who feel weird about, or I hear all the time, I'm so tired of tapping my network, or I don't feel like going to my network over and over and over again. Knocking on the door in the same way as, do you want to join me in business? Do you want to buy? Do you want to buy? Do you want to join me in business? Like you said, when you're giving someone value, you're giving them value, and just think about what it feels. It just feels a lot better. Like, okay, and it doesn't have to. If you're not ready to blog, it doesn't have to be in a blog. You can do it through your posts on social media, but giving people value and then saying, hey, here's this thing. Here's 10
Mhm,
tips to great skincare in 2020. And one of them happens to be your product.
mhm.
And you can say, this is my favorite because of such and such. Then awesome sauce. Roll with it.
Absolutely. And that was a lot of what I was learning in those early stages, learning about attraction marketing and whatnot. But I was also learning how to draw new people into me in a very sort of manual way, right? I had to go and like friend up people and do all these sort of activities that I was told to do every day to bring, because you need people to see the stuff that you're creating.
That helps. Yeah.
So, yeah. And so that was the key reason I also moved over to Pinterest, because I like to automate things. I didn't want to be spending all this time bringing in one, two people here and there, or it could take hours, right? Depending on what I was doing. And whereas I could create one thing and then maybe create a few pins about it,
Mhm,
and almost on autopilot, it's just pulling people into me all the
mhm.
time. So now I have people I can strike up conversations with when I'm ready, right? But I'm not having to go do all that manual prospecting as much anymore.
I love that. So you've kind of answered the question that I was going to ask, which is, why why network marketers should be on Pinterest. But can you tell us more about your experience? I mean, you said you went there, you decided, but what did that do for you?
Yeah. So I'll give you some stats a little later,
Okay.
but I want to tell you like what some Pinterest stats that are going to explain why I blew up on Pinterest a little bit.
Mhm.
So there are 291 million active users as of quarter 1 2019 on Pinterest. So it's not as big as Facebook, right? Facebook has 2 billion people on it, but it's still those are active people going out to Pinterest. And almost 80% are women, and women 25 to 54 make 80% of household buying decisions.
Mhm.
So these are people who are ready to make buying decisions. It's the people who in the house make the buying decisions.
Mhm.
And 75% of saved pins originated from businesses. So it's businesses that are creating, these new pins primarily. And you are a business, right? So you fall into that category. Um, and then 90% of weekly users go to Pinterest specifically to help them make buying decisions. And that's 90%. They're actually seeking out some information to make a buying decision. And 55% log in specifically to find products. So that's huge.
That
These
is
people are
huge.
looking for you. They're looking for what you have to offer, and you're not there, maybe. So, and you should be.
You should
Um,
be.
yeah. So people are searching for your information. I think I mentioned it. Pinterest is a search engine. It's not social media. So people aren't there to chat and do all that stuff. They're looking for information,
Mhm.
or Pinterest is showing it to them on their wall based on the stuff they've looked for before, and they're
Mhm.
stumbling upon your information that's
Can you
valuable to them
Can
on
we
that.
let's I want you to repeat that. People are not
Yeah.
going on Pinterest for, please, because that's really important.
Yeah, they're not there to socialize. There's really not a great, I mean, there is a chat function in there, but I don't know if anybody's using it too much,
Mhm.
because they're there to look for information. They're searching. It's like Google, right? But it's like more like Google image search. They're searching for a specific topic that is going to help them with the thing they need help with right now. So, or they're discovering things similar to something they searched before, and maybe they're saving those ideas for later,
Mhm.
or they're like, oh yeah, I do need those UGG boots, right?
See?
and
Tell you.
and it's popping up because Pinterest is just like Facebook, Instagram. They're watching our behaviors and what is this person looking for and what can I show them that might be valuable to them, right? So if you happen to have that thing that could be valuable to this person, you get seen.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
So there, yeah, that's good to remember because it's you don't have to feel like you need to talk about the day or this or that. Nobody cares. They just want to
Right.
find.
For me, it was a mental break. I had some Facebook fatigue, I'm gonna be honest. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just need a way to automate this, please.
Yeah.
So that was one reason why I switched for sure. And then here's the other thing that's so awesome. Once a pin is created, it gets saved by other people, and it causes this ripple effect where for years your pin can just be getting saved, resaved, clicked on, engaged with for years, spreading to more and more and more people. So let's compare that to Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn,
LinkedIn.
whatever,
Yeah.
where where your stuff basically dies right after you post it, unless you're ready to put some money behind it.
Yeah. That's
So,
true.
I mean, that's huge. That's
Mhm.
huge that your stuff just lives on and on and on and can be driving traffic to you forever and ever. So it's not a short-term game; it's a long-term marketing strategy for sure.
I
But
think
it has that build-up effect.
yes. Now I want to say for those listening, this is not a strategy for people who don't want to create content. Because if you don't want to create your own
Right.
content, then you're going to have to get over that hump before you even get into the Pinterest realm. Would you agree with that?
A little bit. So you can link straight to an affiliate offer or a network marketing product page on
Mhm.
your network marketing company's website or something like that. But remember, the pin lives on and on and on and on forever. So if you're not going to stay with that company or, whatever the case may be, you can't change the pin that somebody else repinned, right?
Mhm.
So just remember, it's got to be a link you really want to send people to forever and ever and ever. And I will say that you're going to see higher conversions if you're creating some value before you're just pitching them your offer. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if you're just like, let's say you're doing a pin that, I don't know, is about your smart coffee or something, right? If you send them straight to a smart coffee order page, there's going to be a lot of people that just don't stick around, they don't
Right.
buy. Versus if you have a piece of content where you are really like laying down some value, and then, hey, and this smart coffee really helped me with this thing that I just talked about in this post or whatever. Um, so maybe you're talking about energy or something like 5 ways to get more energy as a stay-at-home mom, or so you can chase your kids around, and
Right.
then one of those happens to be your smart coffee. So it's back to that idea, you're still doing those kinds of attraction posts, and curiosity posts and whatnot, but yeah, so it's good to be creating content because you're going to get those higher conversions than if you just send someone straight to an offer.
Mhm.
But you certainly can.
You can, but
Yeah.
take the extra step.
So yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about Facebook though, and just a few
Please.
stats so you can see why Pinterest is so different. So Facebook, I think I mentioned this, they have over 2 billion users. So there are definitely more people on Facebook. And the biggest demographic on Facebook is men ages 25 to 34. So if your
Really?
market, yes. So if your market is women, Pinterest might actually be a better place for you.
Mhm.
Um, and people get on Facebook, we said this before, to socialize, to get news, to be entertained. They're not going to Facebook thinking like, oh, I really want to buy some boots. Let me find a good pair of boots, right?
Right.
Like, and then suddenly some Uggs pop up in the side. Although sometimes weird stuff like that
It does
happens, and I'm
happen,
like,
but
were
yeah,
they listening to me?
they were listening.
Yeah, but I mean, you're catching people who weren't there to look for your stuff,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Versus on Pinterest, your people are looking for your stuff, so you have this like warmer audience almost. And with Facebook, you really have to focus on the relationship and trust building. And if you don't do that, it's like pay to play, right? In order to get your post seen. So if you're getting some Facebook fatigue and you need a way to get your stuff seen, like you got to find some other way to get your stuff seen, you know. And you know, the average engagement rate on Facebook is only 3.91% and
It's not
dropping.
that good. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I haven't been as focused on Facebook since I've been focused on Pinterest, but if I'm not really consistent on Facebook, and like having a good strategy for keeping eyeballs on my stuff, then I really notice. I might post something pretty epic and I don't hardly get any
Yeah,
comments
and
on
nobody
it.
heard it. You're like, "Excuse me, I just said I'm gonna give you $1,000,000 and nobody responded. What the"
Right?
Yeah, totally.
Right. And so it's pay to play, or you really have to keep those algorithms up. And,
Or Facebook groups. Facebook groups is like, that's the one spot that is, like,
yeah.
redeemable.
And Facebook is heading more that direction with
Mhm,
stories and groups versus just showing your stuff on the news feed for sure.
mhm,
And you know, so basically, what I want to say is Pinterest and Facebook are two very different platforms, and
mhm.
each one should be used how the platform is intended. So just understand the platform, or Instagram. You know, that's your thing. Like you just have to understand the platform you're in and play how they want you to play, right? In order to get your stuff seen. And then I also want to make sure to say I'm not suggesting that you abandon your marketing strategy on Facebook or whatever platform you're on. But Pinterest can be a really great addition to what you're already doing, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever. So,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
can use Pinterest to pull tons of new eyeballs into what you're doing already. So, those epic posts that nobody's seeing, right?
Yeah.
You can link to those from Pinterest and get more eyeballs on
Well, and
them.
what I
So
like about that too is that you're getting people because people, we're all voyeurs and we like to go down rabbit holes. So they find your pins on Pinterest. They
yeah.
click on that link and that they're never going to be able to find out more about who you are. We always want to know who's the person behind that. So that link goes to Instagram and then they're following you on Instagram and watching your videos because they're interested in you now. So it all weaves
Yes, and
together.
you can then use that platform to build the relationships and do that kind of thing and draw people more
Build
into
like
your
and trust
stuff if you
factor.
want to. Yeah,
Totally. Totally.
absolutely. So you were asking about my results
Yes. I
on
want to hear your
Pinterest.
results because they're
So
awesome.
yeah, so when I first started just really saying like I'm going to use this for my business, I'm going to try out this strategy, right? I started early March 2019. Okay.
Mhm.
And I was already using it for personal before that. So it wasn't, I knew how to use Pinterest, but this is like me putting on that CEO hat and saying, what are the activities I need to do to work this as a marketing strategy? Um, and within a couple of days, my average daily impressions shot up to over 20,000 people. And
Woo!
in less than a month, I was up to over 100,000 monthly viewers. Now, that is not the most important metric. That's kind of the flashy metric, right?
Mhm.
Because that includes, I was repinning other people's pins. And so Pinterest counts that as a view and that kind of, but 100,000 monthly viewers when I was at maybe 5,000 before meant that Pinterest liked what I was doing and they were starting to show my stuff, right? So the more I could like get my own content into what I was pinning, then I knew Pinterest was going to be showing my stuff, in that as well. So
Absolutely.
that was really cool to see just how quickly my stats shot up. And I did say it's a long game. It is.
Mhm.
um, but when you get on the platform and you do what it wants you to do and you get consistent, then you're going to have results. And
Say that again,
um,
please, when you get on the
so
platform.
yes, when you get on the platform, you do what it wants you to do, you get consistent, you're
Uh-huh.
going to have results.
There you go. There you go.
Yes.
Not a magic pill. It's not like snap, snap. But if you do it the right way and you do it consistently, boom.
Yeah, and so as we're recording this, I'm maybe 9 months into using the strategies that I've been using consistently, and I'm getting anywhere from most days like 10 to 20 new email subscribers, sometimes
Wow.
more, sometimes less, but every single day on autopilot. I've now taken the most of my daily Pinterest activities and assigned them to a virtual assistant. So I'm not in there doing all that stuff. I'm starting to create that freedom lifestyle that I,
Mhm.
that I
Yeah.
wanted. And, I'm not getting Pinterest fatigue. Yeah.
I
And that's a lot of new people every day that I now have a chance to market to via my email list, or, they're coming over into my Facebook group, where then I can really build the relationships with them.
Mhm.
And, and they're already hot to me, right? This isn't me manually going out and getting people and having to strike up a conversation and like hope that maybe something I have to offer can solve a pain point for them.
Yeah.
um and which is fine. Like, that's a great way to start with attraction marketing and growing your business. It worked great for me. But this is like, oh, I've got hot leads coming into me every single day, and they already think I'm an expert by the time I talk to them, right? Because they saw all the stuff that I was creating, and they liked the value that I gave them with that freebie or whatever, and so they trust me already before I'm even talking to them. That's
Mhm.
big. It creates a whole different dynamic.
I love that, and you're right, it does, and, qualified leads are so much do you want a qualified lead or do you want a cold lead? I'll take a qualified lead over a
Right.
cold lead any day of the week. Now, would you
Right.
say initially you weren't spending any money on, like, ads on Pinterest, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I was probably 3 or 4 months in before I put a little bit of money behind promoting a pin to just kind of see what would happen,
Yeah. Yeah, well,
And I just threw like $1 a day in there.
uh-huh.
And then, one time I got crazy and I put $5 a day for 5 days on a pin, to see what would happen.
You're
And, now
dangerous.
I'm starting to get more into learning Pinterest marketing strategies and, how to really like drive more traffic in and just kind of boost those pins when you first create them. Um, but yeah, I would say the majority of my traffic has been organic.
That is huge, and it's exciting, and listen, we recorded this in 2019. I always like full disclosure, like a few weeks before it's airing. So I want to say that it's if you're listening to this in the beginning of 2020, you're not late on the 8 ball to get Pinterest working for your business, for your
Oh
network.
no. Pinterest is still in some like infant stages. I mean, it's just going to keep growing, keep
Mhm.
growing, keep
And
growing.
and honestly, it's because Pinterest, every network marketing platform, social not network marketing, excuse me, social media platform doesn't really know who they're going to be. Like the community dictates who they're going to be at some point in some time. So Pinterest,
Mhm.
there was a point when I remember when I was doing home shopping, we were in a big meeting with our social media team, and there was this question of is Pinterest going to die out because you couldn't be monetized? People thought that about Twitter too. Is it going to die out because it couldn't be monetized? And now, yes, Pinterest is doing they have ads, but ultimately they found their niche and place in the DIY bride space that gave them enough time and traction to keep going. And now network marketers are figuring out and entrepreneurs, I should say as well, are figuring out how to work it. So it's exciting that it hasn't gone anywhere because it is a fun place to be.
Oh
But I'm
yeah.
really excited about the business potential for network marketers in Pinterest with Pinterest.
Absolutely. And I think not enough network marketers are using it in this way, for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Totally true. Totally true. I just decided you're right. But it is true because
Yeah.
most people don't know. It does now. I don't want to poo-poo the amount of time you took because I know, like you said, you got these results quickly, but it did take you time to set it up and to have the content. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And when I started, I already had, 8 blog posts, but I also had a bunch of content on Facebook that I could have been creating pins for. You can send a pin to wherever you want
Mhm.
somebody to engage with you. Um, so you don't have to have a blog to do it. And I actually think I maybe built a little slow because I haven't been as consistent as I'd like to be with putting as many blog posts out. Like it's not that I've even been driving hard in Pinterest. I could have created a lot more pins and done a lot more to blow it up. So I might be more middle of the road or even on the slow path right now, just in these early stages, because I've been spending a lot of time doing other content creation, creating my, courses and my ebooks, and really trying to fill that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, definitely you can hit it as hard or as soft as you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you want to be consistent to get results. And I would say, like, go out and see what other people are doing. Do some research and see what are your other influencers in your niche doing. What are bloggers doing? See how they're using Pinterest, and you'll get some good idea of some things that you could do to grow your Pinterest if you want to.
That's phenomenal. Thank you so much. This has been a great and I appreciate how real you are about like what you did, how you did it, what's working, what's not, because I love the real and the rawness, because you really want to help people. So thank you for that, Misty.
Absolutely.
Now, I feel like I should say, like, drum roll, please, because people are like, but I want more. I want more Misty. I want to understand this more. You guys have been talking about it, but now I want to do it. So you have something very exciting coming up.
Yes, I do. And you are also involved in it, which is super cool.
Yes.
So January 28th, 2020, in case you're listening to this way after, but January 28th, we are kicking off an online summit for direct sellers, all about online marketing. And we have so many good speakers. Roxanne's in there talking about Instagram and what we're doing wrong on Instagram. And we've got just some amazing 6-7 figure earners. We've got the whole gamut. We've got other people who are newer in network marketing, but they're just exploding their businesses, and talking about what they're doing with current online marketing methods, not like your grandma's Tupperware party kind of training. Okay. This is like what is working right now online. Yes. And I'll be talking more about Pinterest, some of what we just talked about, but there'll be more in there. And yeah, you will not want to miss it. It's free. Did I mention it's free?
Oh, you didn't mention that, but hey, it's free.
It's a free summit, and I think we have 27 speakers.
Wow.
So you're sure to find, some valuable information in there.
A lot of value.
Wherever you're at in your business right now.
You are. It's going to be phenomenal. And Misty, thank you, because I'm honored that you came to me and said, hey, do my summit. I'm like, what? So I'm excited to share and to just be around, like you said, all of the people that are that you have. I mean, that speaks highly to you, first of all, but also to the fact that people just want to help network marketers get this right, get the marketing thing right.
It was such an impact for me to just start following true leaders that had duplicatable strategies that I could go and implement without feeling kind of skeezy about my how I was running my business, or feeling like I was taking too much time from my kids, all that kind of stuff. And I feel it's so important to get some sort of mentorship, to follow somebody who's doing it the way that you want to work your business, and see what it is that they're doing. And so I'm so excited and just honored at the caliber of speakers that we've been able to pull in for this summit. And like I said, you're going to be able to resonate with somebody, and be able to get some really actionable tips that you can take away to implement right away into your business, which is awesome.
It is. And
Awesome.
can I say kudos for you for saying that? Because sometimes life happens, right? And we may not gel with our upline or with our upline's upline. And we think, oh my goodness, does that mean I shouldn't be doing this business? And that's not what it means. And so this summit is really a great way for you to find people who are there, maybe that you resonate better with, that can give you at least the tools that you need to use in any network marketing company you have, so that you can be successful and you can stand in your own truth as a CEO of your business. I'm big on that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If your leaders aren't leading the way that you need, you got to either become that leader, meaning you need to invest in some training, and whether that's your time, your money, your energy, you need to invest in training yourself up on what you need to do to become that leader. Or maybe you have to switch companies, but it's not that network marketing doesn't work, because it does.
It clearly does. It's been going
Yeah,
on for a long time
absolutely.
and it's just growing. I love that. So do you know the website for the summit? How does one get, or
Yeah, so you are gonna have your own link to
that's right, I
put below
do.
this. Yeah,
Yes,
so you're
just
gonna share
kidding.
that in the show notes, right?
I will share in the show notes. I'll put it everywhere for everyone to see. It'll be down at the bottom of this video. It'll be there. Yeah. So
Absolutely, and you can opt in, anytime early January on, and be ready, because
yes.
we're gonna have a Facebook group where we're gonna be doing some fun giveaways and interacting in there as well, so we can talk about the things you're learning, and you can engage with
So
other people in this industry who are the same boat that you are.
So exciting. So if you're driving, listening to this, or you're at the gym, just go to roxtalkspodcast.com and you'll click on this episode and you'll see all the deets. Otherwise, if you're seeing it elsewhere, I'll have the link for you because I don't want you to miss out on this. My passion is to make sure that you guys are growing your business, and what Misty's put together is phenomenal. So very exciting. Thank you so much, Misty. And we can find you at mistydorman.com too, right?
Yes, absolutely. I would love for you to come, check out some of the value that I have over there to help you grow your business. We talked a lot about just other attraction marketing strategies that I started out with. I've got tons of content over there about how to do that as well. So
Thank you so much. This has been fantastic. Appreciate you and all that you've done. And we're going to see you at the summit because we're all going to be there. So thanks for this.
absolutely. Thanks, Roxanne.
Thank you. So for the tech tip today, I'm actually going to do a shout out to one of my clients, Kristen K. Kristen K was talking about something that she uses, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. Why have I never talked about that before? So shout out to her on this tech tip. And by the way, if you have a tech tip that you want to share, email me at roxanne@roxannewilson.com or DM me on Instagram at RoxTalks, and I would love to hear it. This tech tip I love as well too, because sometimes when I give you a tech tip, it's very Apple focused, and I'm unapologetic about that. But I love the fact that this one is for everyone. It's universal. It's all about using Google Drive. Hello, why haven't I done this before? So typically, when I do my notes, if I'm doing content of any sort, because for me it's easier to type on a computer, I'll throw it in my notes my notes because I have a Mac, and then it goes directly to my phone. But if you don't have Mac, or if you don't have Apple at all, how can you do that and have that effectiveness of it following you all around? You use your Google Drive. Now, Google Drive I could go into Google Drive and all the benefits and extras, and I will maybe break some of that down in the future. But specifically, let's talk about your Google Docs. You can make a Google Doc with all of your content. Maybe you've done the content creation workshop that I offered, or you have your content down, and it's like, what do I do with it now? How do I get it on my phone? Google Docs is the way to go. Create a Google Doc. Maybe there's one for content for a week, for a month, for a topic, whatever it may be. Then you can, as long as you have the Google Doc app on your phone, then you can go into your Google Docs, you can cut and paste, and it's ready to go. Great place to store your hashtags or anything that you need on the fly that you need. Because remember, social media, a lot of these platforms, especially Instagram, is really built for the phone. You can't do as much with the desktop version of your Instagram. You can't do much with it at all. And so you need to be able to access these things on your app, on the phone, and that's a great way to do it. So if you have not delved into the docs that is Google, the drive that is Google, get yourself a Google Drive, download that app. It is completely free. I think they do make you or encourage you to have a Gmail account. That's okay. You can have an account just to have that if you want, if you don't have one already. But use your Google Docs, put things like your content that you're going to post on Instagram. Maybe it's your text for your stories or your hashtags, and have that easily accessible so that you can go ahead and save yourself time when you're doing your social media on the daily. All right, that's your tech tip. So when you're listening to this, if you're listening to it right when it came out, it's the week of the 8th. I call it the week of. It comes out on Wednesday. So it's January 8th you're listening to this, which means that you are getting out of your coma and the haze and the whatnot that is the holidays, and you're getting into the real. This is where it starts to get difficult. I mean, we're really good about having resolutions and goals for about 8 days, and then it starts to dwindle. We don't realize it, but it actually does. My encouragement to you right now is to pause whatever you're doing and remind yourself of what your goal is, what your word is for the year, what your resolution, if you did that, is for the year, and think about what it is and why you made it. Even if you think you're rocking it right now, listen, we run out of stamina. That's how we are. So what I want you to do is take a moment and remind yourself, this is my goal. This is the goal, and I wanted to achieve it by this time. This is my resolution for the year. This is my word for the year. Get back to the way you were feeling when you made those. Get back to that, and then go a step further and think about how you're going to feel when you achieve it. Okay? Because when the going gets tough, it's hard to remember why we're doing it, A, and B, how we're going to feel when we achieve it. If I make a goal like I have in the past of losing weight, but I really want those chocolate covered almonds, I need to remember not only why I made it, but how I'm going to feel. If we already start acting like we already are there, like we've already achieved it, and we're in that moment and that space more, that is going to help us continue to make the right decisions to get to where we're going. So it's going to help me say, I'm not going to have those chocolate almonds because I'm going to fit into that bikini, right? It's that kind of thing. That goes for whatever you're doing, whether it's your personal goals or your goals for your business. If you said that you're going to be a certain level, get a certain vehicle, make a certain income by a certain date, start acting like you're already there so that you make the decisions that are going to be supportive of that and not the decisions that are going to derail you, to stop you from getting there or inhibit your potential. Okay? So that is my mindset moment for you. And I got to remind you of my word this year is all about you. It's endless. I want you to remember that your potential is endless. Your ability to reach your goals, to achieve all these things is endless. Possibility is endless. So don't you stop. This is not the end. So at the time this is recording, it is literally Christmas Eve, y'all, which means I'm in an interesting point because my motivation, I mean, it's holiday time. I'm in the holiday season. My motivation is there, but it isn't there. Um, and I want these last days of this century to be about making sure that I set myself up for 2020 in a good way. If you listened a few weeks ago, excuse me, whoops, a few weeks ago, you know that my word for this year is endless. But rather than starting to think like that on the first of 2020, I've decided that even before that hits, I'm going to start looking and believing and just really soaking in that word. So I'm doing some of that right now. But what I find is this, um, I'm in a mode where I really want to sit down with a calendar and just make sure that I got it all down, because I feel like this decade, or at least this year, is going to be quick. And so for me, if I'm going to hit the goals that I want to hit, I need to make sure they are down, but also the things that are coming in this first quarter. Do you know what's coming in your first quarter? I've got to, like, you've listened, you know, the summit's coming up. So excited. The one I'm doing with Misty Dorman's coming up end of this month. I have another great surprise coming up in February, some great things coming up in March, and some goals and some plans for some wackadoo things for you, my network marketing community, coming up in 2020. But in order to do that, I've got to make sure that I'm in the right headspace and that I've got it all down. So that's really my focus right now, is making sure that I end the year right, um, so that I can start the decade successfully and figure all of those things out. And that's, I mean, listen, you could say that about any week, right? I want to make sure I end this week right so the next week is great. It's just, I mean, it's fun to talk about a new decade, and you're going to hear people talking about 2020 for a while. But you can make it your new air quote decade anytime. And what are you doing to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success so that you are achieving what you want to achieve? I'm looking back on this year and it's been phenomenal. And so I feel so grateful, especially the last half of the year has had the most amazing lows and highs all rolled into one, and I'm super thankful for it. But I don't want this fun roller coaster, this ride to stop. I don't want to stop helping people achieve their greatness and be the best that they can be. So in order to do that, I've got to make sure that I don't stop. I've got to make sure that I'm doing all the things and doing them right, or at least right-ish. We learn from things we do wrong, but right-ish enough to make sure that they keep going forward and that I can continue to serve you. So really, that's my headspace. That's where I am. A challenge. The newest challenge just started 2 days ago. There's still time for you to join. Instagram Stories 5-day challenge. I'll be really honest with you. I'm not going to do another one until the earliest of March. So if you're thinking, should I join this? I didn't join it 2 days ago. I would join it now. Go ahead and get it joined. Because I'm going to take a hiatus on those. They're phenomenal. They're exhausting in a good way because I get to serve you. Right now, when you're listening to this, I'm probably underneath reading a couple hundred, maybe 500 different Instagram stories and critiquing them one by one. This is why we record these things early. So I'm doing a lot of that to make sure that I can serve you all and help you grow your business on Instagram. But just trying to keep it all going in an exciting way and getting the support that I need to make that happen so I can support you. So enough about that. Rambling's done. I will see you next week for another very exciting episode of RoxTalks. And just in case you forgot, please let me be the first to remind you, you're not ahead, you're not behind, you're exactly where you need to be. See you next time. Thanks for listening. And if you loved any bit of this, please tag me on Instagram at RoxTalks in your stories, and I will highlight you on my story. Mwah. Take care. Bye-bye.